the most powerful countries in history, from 1500s to 1999s. What if you could travel through 500 years of world history and see which countries truly ruled the world? From global empires controlling entire continents to superpowers shaping modern politics, the balance of power has shifted dramatically over time. In this documentary, we will explore the most powerful nations from the 1500s to the end of the 20th century. You'll see how the Spanish Empire, the British Empire, and the United States rose to dominate global history. But before we begin, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more real history documentaries. Your support helps bring these historical stories to life. Now let's travel back to the 1500s. In the early 1500s, one empire stood above all others, the Spanish Empire. After the voyages of Christopher Columbus, Spain gained control of enormous territories across the Americas. Gold and silver from regions like Potosi flooded into Spain, making it one of the richest kingdoms in Europe. Spanish armies conquered powerful civilizations, including the Aztec Empire and the Inca Empire. By the late 1500s, Spain controlled lands across Europe, the Americas, Asia, and Africa. It was the first empire where the phrase, "the sun never sets," became true. But Spain's dominance would not last forever. During the 17th century, another power began rising across the seas. The British Empire started as a small colonial network, but soon expanded rapidly. British naval power defeated rivals such as Spain and the Netherlands. Through trade, colonization, and war, Britain gained control over vast territories. Colonies stretched from Canada to Australia and from Africa to Asia. One of the most valuable territories was India, often called the jewel in the crown. By the 19th century, Britain had become the most powerful empire in history. At its peak, the British Empire ruled nearly a quarter of the world's population. The 19th century became the age of imperial competition. European powers raced to expand their influence across the globe. Countries like France, Germany, and Russia built large empires of their own. This period included the dramatic scramble for Africa, when European nations divided much of the African continent among themselves. At the same time, industrialization gave these nations powerful new technologies. Steamships, railways, and modern weapons allowed them to expand faster than ever before. But the competition between these powerful nations would eventually lead to global conflict. The early 20th century was shaped by two devastating conflicts: World War I and World War II. These wars destroyed old empires and reshaped global power. The Ottoman Empire, German Empire, and Russian Empire collapsed. Europe, once the center of global power, was devastated. Out of the ruins of these wars, two new superpowers emerged. After World War II, the world entered a new era known as the Cold War. Two nations dominated global politics: the United States and the Soviet Union. The United States became the leading economic and military power in the Western world. Meanwhile, the Soviet Union controlled much of Eastern Europe and rivaled American influence. For decades, these two superpowers competed in politics, military power, and technology. Their rivalry even reached space during the famous space race. By the late 1980s, the Soviet Union faced serious economic and political problems. In 1991, the Soviet state collapsed. The United States emerged as the world's dominant superpower. By the end of the 20th century, America had the largest economy, the most powerful military, and global cultural influence through technology, media, and trade. From the Spanish Empire to the Cold War superpowers, the balance of power had shifted dramatically over 5 centuries. History shows that global power is never permanent. Empires rise, dominate the world for a time, and eventually decline. From the Spanish Empire to the British Empire, and finally the United States, each era had its own superpower. And the question remains, which country will dominate the future? If you enjoyed this documentary, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications for more history content every week. And tell us in the comments, which empire or superpower should we explore next?